The European Boxing Union have ordered their new heavyweight champion, Robert Helenius, who used to be the European heavyweight champion a few years ago. They've ordered his first defense of his European heavyweight title in this current reign to be against his old foe, Dereck Chisora. So we've seemed to have come full circle for Chisora. Those of you, or most of you probably know that their first fight was highly controversial because the vast majority of people felt that Dereck Chisora not only won the fight, but won the fight big, but was absolutely scandalously robbed on the scorecards in Helenius' hometown. Back then, during the first fight, Helenius was promoted by the Sauerlands. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Helenius now is no longer with the Sauerlands. But in fact, now Dereck Chisora is with the Sauerlands. So that should even things up in terms of the judging when it comes to this rematch. I'm actually quite looking forward to this fight. Neither Helenius or Dereck Chisora are world beaters, and they're never going to be, most likely. But the first fight was pretty entertaining, even though Chisora seemed to dominate it. It was entertaining, and I'm interested to see how the second fight goes down. Can Dereck Chisora win in similar fashion? Does he still have enough left? Which of these fighters has progressed and which of these fighters has deteriorated since their first match? Personally, I think that maybe both of them have deteriorated. There was a lot made at the time of Helenius apparently having some type of shoulder injury in the Chisora fight, and that being the reason why he didn't win or didn't perform to the best of his ability. That's according to the Helenius side, and that's according to people who either hate Chisora or love Helenius. Don't know where you want to go with that one. But me personally, I just think it was a bad style matchup for Helenius, because I'd seen him fight Sam Peter, a washed up, overweight Sam Peter, and he had a lot of problems early on in that fight with Peter crowding him and getting on top of him and pushing him to the ropes and all that. I wasn't impressed with Helenius in that Peter fight. It was a nice knockout in the end, but I wasn't impressed by how easily Sam Peter was able to get on the inside against Helenius, a guy who's 6'6", 6'7", should never allow a short, fat, overweight, over the hill guy like Sam Peter to be able to get that close that easily and get shots off on him. So given the fact he was able to do that, I always felt going into the Helenius fight that Chisora was going to give him nightmares because he's much faster than a washed up Sam Peter on his feet and even with his hands, even if he don't have Peter's power. So yeah, an intriguing rematch, an interesting rematch for the European heavyweight title. Shout out to Michael Zod. Right, he's a big Chisora fan. He thinks that Helenius might actually pull out. Right, he told me to remember it. All right, I'll remember. We'll see if he pulls out. I certainly hope he don't. I want to see this rematch, and let's settle the score once and for all. Let's see who really is the better fighter between Chisora and Helenius. I think it'll be a fun fight second time around. Helenius has certainly got power. That's one thing I'll say about him. This guy can punch. He's got heavy hands. Helenius is one of these guys who doesn't seem to turn his punches over properly. Like, he don't slap or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. He punches correctly with the knuckle part of the glove, but he don't really seem to get that much body motion into his shots. He don't really seem to anchor himself to the canvas, and you know, his technique don't seem all that conducive to maximizing his punching power. He just seems to be a guy who has naturally heavy hands. So even when he don't look like he's putting much power into the shots are powerful. And he did hurt Dereck Chisora in the first round of their first fight, if you remember. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this actually. I hope Helenius don't pull out. We know that Erkan Tepe's now got a 2-year ban, because that's who Helenius would have been fighting if it wasn't for Tepe getting his 2-year ban for PEDs. So he's going to be fighting Chisora in the rematch instead. Chisora coming full circle. I like it. I like it, man. And I look forward to it. What do you think of this fight? Do you think it will be a legitimate win for Helenius this time? Or do you think that Chisora will beat Helenius again, even though he officially didn't beat him last time he only beat him unofficially. Do you think it's going to be an official win for Dereck Chisora this time? Let me know in the comment section below, people. Let me know how you feel about this fight and how you see it going. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out. And oh yeah, before I go, the winner of this fight is being lined up to fight Anthony Joshua. Forgot to say that because Eddie Hearn's very keen on going the European route. And Sauerland, Kalle Sauerland, Dereck Chisora's promoter, has come out just today in the past few hours and said that the winner of, if Dereck Chisora beats Helenius, they'd like to match him against Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. Both of them, which is interesting, isn't it? To me, it seems like Dereck Chisora, signing with the Sauerlands, wanted to take more control over his career than he had with Frank Warren. Because with Warren, it's like, it seemed from the outside looking in that he didn't really have much choice. He wanted to go left, Warren wanted to push him right. You know, and my impression from what he's been saying, particularly following the Joshua Whyte fight, my impression is that he didn't really want to fight Joshua. He'd rather go a completely different route. Whereas Sauerland now seems to be saying, oh no, Dereck, you are actually going to fight Joshua. And Sauerland, you know, he saw the amount of pay-per-view buys that the Joshua Dillian Whyte fight did. A massive amount, 400,000. And he thought, you know what? Nah, man, we need to get Dereck to go down that road. Dereck is not that good. You know, this is what I'm thinking that Sauerland is thinking. He's thinking, look, Dereck is not that good. So rather than putting him in with someone else and him getting beat, we've got an opportunity here to maybe do a massive pay-per-view with, you know, my mate Eddie. put Dereck in a massive pay-per-view and make a nice bit of money for ourselves here. So, you know, forget about him going down the WBA route or this way or that way. A fight with Hay, maybe that's a possibility as well for Chisora, I guess. We'll see how Hay does against Demori. But I think, you know, given the numbers, I'm sure David Hay ain't going to do anywhere near as much numbers. I don't know if his fight against Demori's pay-per-view, I don't think it will be. We still don't know what channel it's going to be on. But nonetheless, David Hay is not as big a deal in British boxing. His profile is not as big right now as Anthony Joshua's is. That's where the money is. Joshua is the cash cow in British boxing at this point in time. So I'm sure Sauerland wants to push Dereck Chisora towards that direction. But it's interesting that he said Chisora could fight Dillian Whyte and Joshua. So maybe they're thinking of having a Joshua fight first, then the Dillian Whyte fight or whatever. I don't know. Either way, they got to get past Robert Helenius first. And Robert Helenius, I believe he's not with the Sauerlands no more. He had a pretty acrimonious breakup with the Sauerlands, right? It was pretty hostile. So Helenius will probably be looking to get revenge over the Sauerlands and dispose of Dereck Chisora in clinical fashion. So we'll see how it goes, people. Let me know how you feel about all this. Drop it in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.